Is this on?
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Here we go. Second video program. Oh, actually third. Okay, here we go. Well, second because the one wasn't. I'm not editing any of this part.
No, it's
this
not.
This is the funnest part. Here we go.
It is.
All right, hey y'all. This is Fair and at Do the Damn Show. And this episode is sponsored by Primetime Lawn Care and Mr. Jason Such. You guys, I can't tell you how generous he is to us, and just what an all-around great guy he is, besides the fact that Primetime Lawn Care is such a great business. Listen, I've seen pictures and stuff of what they've done. They're very proud to post those on social media. No job is too big. No job is too small. Any kind of lawn care needs, give them a call Monday through Saturday at 256-606-3064, but not on a Sunday because they rest on the seventh day.
As I stand before you, my people, on this day of jubilant celebration, I say to you, will we find the devil in the bushes? No. He will be perched high on the peace tree, devouring the sucking of fruit as the poverty weeds lay waste in the field. So revel not in the fascinations of man and realize the accountability of the just and unjust. For at that moment, may we all be caught up like a rushing wind to meet on that jumbo jet flight we call life.
Welcome to Do the Damn Show. I'm your host, the tatted, the fatted, the one and only Casey Hughes. And with me as always, co-host and producer, Super Farron.
That's me. I'm still not tatted and fitted. Tatted and fatted.
That's right.
Yep.
But, you know, hey, it's better than old tatty fatty.
Yes, sir. Super Farron is much better.
Super Farron is much better. And we have a great special guest today, Allan.
Abayan de
Guzman.
Allan Abayan.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the spirit hits you? Hey, now what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the spirit hits you? Hey, now what you gonna do? Can I leave my family fortune and still take on no more care? Will the next bed that I take reveal it there? Could you lend your hand for me? Take all my wants and not my needs. I wanna lay my riches up on the other side. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the spirit hits you? Hey, now what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the spirit hits you? Hey, now what you gonna do?
Oh, that was fantastic.
Are you going to say, and we're back?
And no.
I mean, it's hard. It's after 25 episodes of 26 episodes of And We're Back.
Now.
Yeah.
27.
Wow. It's hard to not say that, but you know, you didn't see us before. So
but we're still going to put a montage in there. We're going to figure out something that kind of fills that in
we
there.
need a montage.
That's right, dude.
Yeah.
A good old late 80s, early 90s montage.
By the time we're done,
it's going to be fantastic.
By the time we're done, we'll either have a really nice tank that used to be a school bus, or we'll be a world-class boxer, or how many movies were there montages and that's what happened in the end?
So many. So how was your week this week, man?
Man, I say it the same way every time. I've noticed that lately. Man, this was a good week. But no, I did have a really great week.
Yeah, me too.
My little boys had a little stomach thing going on right at the beginning of school, but you know, God took care of us and doctors took care of us and we're all better, and great week.
That's great. Since you time-stamped it, I'm going to time-stamp it.
Yeah.
You changed shirts.
Oh! Man.
Had to bring it up.
I had to, man.
But how did I timestamp it?
Because you said the same thing in the last episode about
Did
the boys.
I say the boys were sick in the last episode too? Oh, shoot. Well, you know, maybe they were sick for 2 weeks.
It's not evergreen material when you timestamp it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I wish I hadn't even changed my shirt in. I could. You kept the same shirt on.
I did. I just turned my hat around backwards.
You did do something different.
I did.
But everybody thinks though that you wear the same shirt all the time because you make them.
Because I make them.
You made the Do the Damn Show shirts, which will be for sale at some point in time.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know where mine went. I had one in here. Where did it go?
You got one on. You're wearing it.
One right here.
Oh,
nope.
yeah.
Here you go. Hold that one up.
Oh, yeah. See, here's the back. These are awesome.
So you got Do the Damn Show, our logo on the back, and then you spin it around, and
we got
it's
it
the
on
same.
the front there too. And we're gonna have
Got
some
it on
other
the front.
shirts, some Fats on 4th shirts, and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And our famous phrase, "I was born in this church."
I was born in this church.
And we're gonna have those.
All right.
Quoted by Darren
well, we
Famous.
got to get Darren's permission. We got to
Yeah,
get
gotta
Darren
get
Famous.
Darren. Yeah, I'll send him an email and get him to write off.
Yeah.
Write off on it.
Hey,
Allan,
Yes.
so glad that you're here, man.
Thank you.
You know, we
Thank you,
talked a little
Casey.
bit out front, and it finally clicked. Like, I do know you. You know, I
Okay.
do. I remember that now. Like I do with my dad and those things. It's not like super vivid, but I do. I do
The
remember that.
accent or what? Which one?
Yeah, that's how, yeah, all of it, all of it. No, when you said that you used to have long hair,
Yeah.
that was the click for
let me
me.
tell you
Okay.
something. In the days, I'm not talking about this new resurgence of mullets. I'm not talking about these 4th
No,
graders.
we're talking about
I'm
the
not
OG.
talking about, we're not talking about the 4th graders and the Morgan Wallens. We're talking about the real live
The show nuts.
prime time of mullets.
Billy Ray
This
Cyrus,
man-
Achy Breaky Heart.
This man had the mullet.
the
He
mullet.
had the mullet. I'm talking about. How tall are you, Allan?
I'm 5. Used to be 5'4". I probably get older. 5'3".
5'3" or
Yeah.
5'4", right?
Gravity.
His mullet.
Hey, it's a reality,
his mullet
right?
was 5'1".
His mullet was
His mullet was
5'1".
5'1". Yes, it was awesome.
I love it.
I had a lot of date on that hair. You know, I mean, I used to go to what do you call this? Calhoun College.
Calhoun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have that thing. They train how to cut hair and all of
Yeah.
that. Man, that's the cheapest place, right? So they would flip coins, Casey. They would flip coin. Who's gonna cut my hair? I think I had
Everybody wanted to
I
cut
had 2
yours
dates there.
because you had that good
on
hair.
that season of my life.
I love it.
He had the good hair, man. They
I
were
love it.
fighting for.
Oh, but they would keep oh, can I cut your hair? No, it's her turn, So that was funny,
Well,
But
so on
had to take
the
advantage,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
on that other episode that we recorded way back a whole week ago when I was wearing that other shirt, and Amy was here, and I said that Amy was like one of my oldest friends, right? Because we were we were 1st through 12th grade together, right?
15 minutes
So Allan is
They said, you lie, you fry. I'm just kidding.
Allan is also an old friend, but we
Yes.
weren't not since 1st grade because Allan came from the Philippines to here in like the 10th grade, right?
Last semester,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and so we were friends. He came in the middle of the school year.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't in the beginning. It was the middle of the school year.
Yeah, there was a last semester, January 1986.
Wasn't it 10th grade?
Yeah, 10th grade. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me lay this out for you, okay? Now, back in that.
Is this
back
a
in
real
those
timeline or
days-
your fake shirt timeline? Is that, which one? Which one
So
is
listen,
it?
listen. So back in those
You
days,
can tell he's
okay?
telling the truth because he's doing his hand, right? No, just kidding.
Oh, yeah, we're on the camera too, my hands. So this was like 85, okay? 85,
Yes.
84, 85. And at that point in time, there wasn't a lot of integration in my school, not for political reasons or on purpose. It's
Right.
just that's who lived there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think out of the whole school, seriously, I think it was, 95, 96% was white people.
I was going to say, I would not imagine that rural Danville, Alabama, has a whole lot of Filipino
Yeah.
Well,
people
but there weren't
in it.
there was
in
only
1986.
well, and there was I only had a couple of African American friends because there wasn't a lot of
Yeah,
folks that lived there, and there wasn't any Hispanic friends there.
Yeah.
Like now my kids, they got all kinds of Hispanic friends. Going to school in Westland, Morgan, Danville. But then, so Allan comes, and he kind of sort of was kind of like a celebrity when he first got there.
The
right?
rarity, the unicorn.
And
I don't know if a celebrity was wearing a pink tight pants,
That's where I'm going. Everybody keeps taking away my stuff.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, look.
Sorry.
I think we call them culottes.
Yeah.
Right?
Culottes.
So the pants were halfway between, and this wasn't jams, okay? If you remember jams, the pants were halfway between the knee and the ankle. They were
Yeah.
kind of tight. They were
It's
kind of
tight,
tight.
yeah.
But he wore them
This is
well.
Philippine
okay?
style. I didn't know what to do,
Yeah, because he came from, he didn't know the style yet. It didn't take him long to adapt. That's why he had that super mullet, which was awesome. right?
Absolutely.
But Allan comes in, and you were just learning English.
Yes, I was. Yes.
Yeah.
I learned how to speak English, but I had King James, the first Bible I ever had.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I can't understand it. All the thee and thou. So I had to tell my mom, tell my grandmother who raised me. to say in the Bible, in that my language, Mayong Balita Biblia, Good News Bible. So that's how I learned to memorize the scriptures and everything. That's how I learned English, really. So 70% of me learning English is reading to the Bible.
Wow.
King James Bible. There.
That explains a lot. Listen, Allan's mom, I never knew Allan's mom really well, but she came and spoke at our school at least once, maybe more than once, like an assembly. And this is what was awesome about her, okay? Filipino lady, learned English from just southern rural Alabama folks,
yes,
right?
Man.
So she had this accent that was so cool because it was a mix of Filipino
Yes.
and southern drawl.
Southern
man,
Bama.
It was the best. It was the best.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
If you're talking to her on the phone, if you don't know she's Filipina, I mean, you probably think she's from Alabama, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
But
flying.
at that time, she still had the heavy Filipino accent
Yeah,
mixed in with the southern drawl.
sure, yeah.
And it was awesome. It was the best.
So I have to say, I had a meeting today with some fellows from Canada, and I was sorely disappointed because they didn't sound. They sounded like they were from here.
They never said a boot.
No, a boot or a nothing. There was
Did he call you a
literally
hoser?
no different in their dialect
Wow.
than talking to somebody from Kentucky or from Tennessee. Actually, I mean, I was just like, oh man,
You were disappointed.
I was
You were
so looking forward to
You were
that.
waiting for like take off, hoser.
Yeah. I did bring
What's
up
this
Tim.
boot, eh?
I did bring up Tim Hortons though. I did get that one in there because they were talking about opportunity. I was like, yeah, but you got a lot of Tim Hortons. You know?
Listen, Allan, okay, some of my most vivid memories, 10th grade, sitting across from each other at a lunchroom table, right? And we're sitting there, and I remember we had fish one day, right? So this is 80s high school fish.
86,
So it was
yeah.
a square of fried fish, right? And Alan's like, what is this? Like, it's fish. And he laughed like he thought we were making a joke, just like that. He said, "No,
I have
really,
no
what is
idea,
this?" I said,
man.
"Alan, it's fish." He said, "Fish? Yeah. Where's the head?"
I think it was a cardboard they cook or something, you know.
Yeah.
I've never.
We were like,
never
"Why would?"
seen.
We were like, "Oh,
It's a fillet,
the
yeah.
head.
So-
Yeah.
Oh, why would we have the head on there?" He said, "Who eats the eye? You're not going to eat the eye?"
Yeah.
We were like, "Oh my God, man!" This,
I did a stint bartending for quite some time, and I bartended at Maria Bonita's and Fulin's for a while. And Fulin's was an
I remember that.
Asian
Yeah.
cuisine.
Yeah, I
And
love Fulton's. Yeah.
you know, the food that you order is not the food that the cooks eat. They
Right.
prepare their own meals at the end of the night. And I remember one night they had fish head soup, and it's basically just a bunch of fish heads in water, and they just boil it. But they were in there eating the eyes.
Yeah, I know how
they
to
would
cook that
pop.
way.
They would pop the eyes out, and it was so funny, dude, because they're Asian, right?
Right.
And they don't have really good English, and they would cook the traditional Asian food.
Right.
And then you had Hispanics that worked on the fryers, and they couldn't communicate. And it was
my God.
always a drama. Like it was always. And so they would, and one guy's name was Ming. That was his name.
Yeah.
Ming got really upset at the fry cook, and they got into an argument. And so the guy picks up it was like an egg roll, and threw it at him. And Ming hit him in the face with a wok
holy cow!
full of rice. Just right there, just bam,
was on.
dude.
Where was Sam?
yeah.
Where was Sam? Was Sam there, the owner?
Yeah, Sam was the owner. Yeah. And so, I mean, it was just like, I remember we watched that video over and over and over, but I learned in that moment, like, it doesn't matter what language you speak, frustration is frustration.
Oh, yeah.
And insults are insults, and it comes through in demeanor,
Hey, in
Especially when it comes to food. Right?
especially when it comes to
Don't mess
food.
with Asian when it comes to food.
Yeah.
in 90 and 91, and then I'll stop and we can get to some good Allan stuff, okay? But in 90 and 91, I was in college in Cleveland, Tennessee. All right.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes. And I worked in this restaurant called the Gondolier. All right. It was the only restaurant in town that
Venice?
served alcohol. They served beer and wine. The Gondolier. It was owned by a Greek guy, but I guess he thought, Cleveland, Tennessee, who's going to come eat Greek food. So he did the Italian restaurant, and it was called the Gondolier, Italian and Greek cuisine, right? So all of the waiters were college guys, college kids, and he would hire all these young college boys to be his waiters, and he made us wear little bow ties and all that stuff, And then all of the kitchen staff were guys, and some of them were related, but they were guys from Mexico, that were not there legally, and I'm sure the good boss Mono, that was his name, Monos. I'm sure he knew that because who knows what he was paying them, right?
Right.
But anyway, so in the back you had all these guys that only spoke Spanish, and some of them were kind of rough guys. They were kind of tough guys, you know.
They're cooks, man.
Yeah, and then in the front you had us white college boys who came from privileged homes and
Working at an Italian Greek
none of us had
restaurant.
none of us had ever
Tennessee.
been in a fight, right?
Especially in Tennessee.
So the guys in the back, they would intimidate us a lot, and we learned some Spanish, but it was all just the bad words because it was the words they called us. But the great unifier at Christmas, Feliz Navidad, right?
Yeah.
Half of it's in English, half of it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we would all sing it. And while they sang the Spanish parts and we tried to sing along, they would laugh so hard. And then it got to the English part and they'd try to do that part and we would laugh so hard. And then after that, we're all friends. So the moral of the story is Christmas is awesome.
Christmas is awesome.
Yes.
You a Seinfeld fan?
Yeah.
You know, soup Nazi guy?
Yeah.
At Maria's, we had the queso Nazi.
Oh, no.
You would ask for cheese dip, and he would say, ticket. It was like the only English he could speak. They would not give you cheese dip unless you had a ticket.
Oh, wow. Well,
So you'd have to go, I got my ticket. Give
this
me my
guy
cheese
that owned
dip.
this,
They don't
owned
wanna
this
get in trouble.
restaurant.
Yeah, they didn't want to get in trouble.
This guy was Emmanuel Makanakis was his name.
Makanakis.
Emmanuel Makanakis, Manos for short. And he called me, my name's Farron, but we all had to have Greek names. So I was Ferrandino. And
Ferrandino.
Emmanuel had, our Mono, he had 2 Porsches. He had this special order 911 slant nose that who knows what it costs, that he had special order. And then he had this really crappy 924 with a bad paint
I'm not
job.
going to lie. That sounds like a money laundering scheme in Cleveland,
So here's
Tennessee.
here's what
That's
happened.
what it sounds like
If the
to
weather
me.
was nice, if the weather was nice,
The picture.
then he came to work in that 911 slant nose. But if he drove up in that old beat up 924,
was a
then
shit
you
day.
knew, oh, there's probably supposed to be storms or something like that. Sure enough, it would rain and stuff that night, you know, because he. Alan.
So, Allan,
Yes.
let's get to you now because you're the star of the show today. Not
Oh,
Farron's,
that's our time.
not Farron's newly changed shirt.
Hey,
I gotta tell the story. You know, after high school, me and Farron, we work at the is it Monsanto? Oh no, Amaco.
oh,
Dude, I
I forgot
for-
you were there with me. Ah,
I forgot about
that.
Amaco.
Got it,
dude.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
a little
we got a
Alzheimer's.
job
I'm kidding.
with some contractors.
You gonna let him tell the story? Or you're gonna tell
Oh,
it.
please tell it.
Check this out. So
I forgot the story, man.
we
It was
got
so
in there
great.
because of his dad, Sammy Davis. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So, but you know, the only white guy in the whole group in that
Yeah.
subcontract, or
And there was about 100 of us.
yes, and here's the Filipino Asian guy with an accent. You know, so me and Perry over there, we're in the field. Either we're cleaning something, or I'm driving a forklift, and we would go in a meeting. You know, here comes 98% all black.
Yeah.
And Farron is white. I'm Asian, so it's like I don't know what you call that kind of mix. Man, it was. How long did we work there? Almost a year.
Well, I was there for a summer. Because it was between, going back to school. But
Okay.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but they found out that we went, that we were Christians,
Yeah.
and that I was going to Bible college. So I was preacher boy from then on.
Yeah, they call him preacher boy.
One
yeah.
time there was bad weather. They made us all go inside, and they made me preach. A
Pray
sermon.
for everybody.
They made me preach.
Preach,
a-
really?
Yeah. And I was
I
like
think
all
so.
shaky and nervous, and
I
they were
remember
kidding,
that.
poking at me. But then when
Yeah.
I actually started, and then Allan
Kinda help
threw
you
a
out a
couple of
little bit,
amens
yeah.
in there, and then everybody was like, "Oh wait, we didn't know he was going to really do it."
What a
And they
story.
just
He
kind of looked
forgot
down
about
at the
that,
floor.
yeah.
And, yeah.
So up until 1986, before the tight pants.
That was after.
That was after. What how did you get to here?
Yeah,
Just walk us all the way
sure.
through that. How you got to where you're at right now today.
Yeah, my mom first American. My mom married to. She met him during Vietnam War. My mom was a singer, and both of her sisters in Vietnam during back in probably 60s.
Oh wow.
So 65 to 75 is the 10 years war, but in between that. So my mom met the first husband, and she left me with my grandmother or grandparents. So they came to America. After a year and a half, they got divorced. So then after that, married to Officer Moody, formerly Officer Moody here. He's a preacher also, Doug Moody. So that's my stepdad. Might as well he's my dad. So a year and a half. So and then my mom came back to the Philippines with a missionary from Cleveland, Tennessee.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So,
God, man.
see? So
A lot going on in Cleveland. A lot going on in Cleveland.
Headquarters. It's the headquarters of the Pentecostal Church of God.
Right.
Oh, gotcha. Did not know
Lee,
that.
Lee
Yeah.
University.
Great college, singers coming out from the university or college. So they came to the Philippines, and so my mom and my sister went with them. Some missionary from Alabama, Slayton family, and that was the first time I saw my mom in almost 14 years. She was gone over 14 years. So no father, no mother. Grew up with 13 people in one house. That's where I was with my aunts and uncles and cousins and everything. So that was the first time. But during that time, when the missionary came, they had it in a hotel, and they had a kind of like a crusade inside the hotel. That hotel, my mom used to sing there when she was a singer.
Oh wow!
That night, when I gave basically when I received Christ, that night she sang the same stage where she used to sing the club. Next to it, you could during the crusade you could still hear the one of those big guitar, the bass, boom, 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 That's the middle of the crusade. But that night, June 17, 1984, that was my first time an encounter with Christ. I just have to say that. So I'm a product of American Mission.
Cool.
So Church God, by the way. So, and they left after a few months, and so I thought I was gonna go with her. That was the plan, but the consulate in Manila, U.S. Embassy, did not believe I was her son. So now, here I am being I was in an SSS gang. I was a gang member in our city. It got me. I mean, that angry got worse because I didn't go with her. It was just her and my sister and so. But the missionary stayed in that city and continued Bible study. So. My addiction and habits and all the crime that we used to do kind of diminished, slowly. And so the following year, I was able to come to the United States, which is 85 December. Okay, December 85. So, and that's why 86 I went to Danville, learning, and I was going to a Baptist church, Summit Baptist Church at that time down the road. So I was hungry, kind of, and that's good that I came to America, really. I look back, and because when I became a missionary in 1997, I went back. A lot of my gang members and friends and buddies, they all pretty much 80% are dead.
Wow.
So it was. I knew there was a plan.
Yeah.
So
for
coming
sure.
to Alabama, I don't know. So it was. Coming to Alabama, I was religious. Now I didn't listen to secular. Check this out. I didn't listen to secular at all. But I was more in contemporary. But first it was Southern Gospel, and then contemporary. Because I was living with mom and dad, but I got a hold of contemporary. With Carmen.
Dude, you took it right out of my mouth. Carmen, man.
I remember Ray Bolts. Ray Bolts. Because you used to sing some of their.
I did some rap. ETW, DOC, and
because you used to sing some of their stuff. Because Allan also has a fantastic singing voice. Got it from his mom, I'm sure. But I remember you in high school. Barely speaking English, but singing like Ray Bolts songs and stuff.
Yes, yes.
I remember that.
And when I was in high school, check this out. I just thought about it the other day. You remember the Catfish restaurant right here in Motors Road?
Yeah, McCollum's.
Yeah, McCollum's Catfish.
Yes. I was working there, junior and senior. After I worked, I was a dishwasher, right?
Oh no, that was the other Catfish place. That was the one with the pond out front.
Yes, that's
where the
one.
dealership is now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, I forgot about that place.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a long time ago, man. It's a lot of date going on that place. So, I would work there, and afterward they would let me sing. The owner, the manager. I was like, okay, so I did it for a few months, man. I just look back because I saw one guy came into the Gill family. I remember that guy, and they would ask me, they would take offering. It was so cool. Like, boy, I like this. I make extra money.
So pass the hat and take the money from
They
it.
just had a little
All right.
offering thing. And of course, after that, how many years later, Princeton, they used to have Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to sing there too.
Okay.
Give you tape, -1 back then. So
Yeah.
give you tape. Yeah, I would. And I would find out some of the guys I used to go to church at Calvary, they were there and got divorced, whatever, and they would go outside with me and crying, I'm so sorry, I said, it's all right, man, it's okay, girl, it's all right, God loves you. I was the kind of person, I never been a person to judge or condemn. I'm never, that wasn't me. But I was the kind of person back then to, I would find a guy that's everybody know, or the baddest guy, or that was me. Somehow, the gift that the Lord has given me is drawn to them. Give me the biggest heathen.
Yeah.
Basically,
Me too, man.
I mean, that's
Me too.
Mike Kennedy. I can name some of the guys that everybody know in parking lot because I used to go a lot in the parking lot. We did that in Athens. Remember that?
Yeah. We would go to the old Athens Square before they wouldn't let teenagers hang out there anymore. It was a hot spot, man, because all the teenagers would be there. Yeah.
Yeah, kids don't do that anymore, man. It's depressing, really.
Well, they're not allowed to.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I kind of jumping from here and there. So, I was, I guess, here in kind of like my Jerusalem. Before the Lord called me to mission in 97, I was able to go to Israel 1995 twice. I was go to Russia 96, and then going to Guatemala and then Philippines and Asia all over. Travel to 22 nations. So, from a southern part of the Philippines, southern part of the United States.
You're just a southern man.
Are you saying you were a redneck in the Philippines? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I guess I never thought of it that way. Yeah. You just asked me a question, man. So anyway, I was a part of when I had a long hair. I don't know if you know Cook. We had a band at that time. We wrote some songs and we never got to finish it, and so I got involved with different band also. Like they would open up like somebody had a party or something. A secular party. They would invite me to sing. So I wasn't limited. I wasn't limited inside the four walls. And get persecuted here and there. Why did you go? And well, it's a sick that needs a doctor.
Yeah.
I've got things in my life until now.
Exactly.
Things in my life need to be dealt with.
So, all right. So you came over here. You went to Danville High School.
Yes.
You got involved in a lot of music and singing and local church stuff.
Yes.
Now, you said it was 97 you went back to the Philippines?
Yes, for the first time in 12 years.
Okay, so who did you hook up with to do that? Was it
a missionary organization in Jacksonville, Florida, Calvary International. Now it changed to Go to Nation. But I went to, you've heard of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? They're all the faith, arena. Faith schools and Raymond, all the Bible school all around. But I went to training there. Me and Lenny Parker, if you know.
I know that name.
Yeah. He used to be a missionary. He's from Decatur, him and Keith.
Yeah.
Keith Parker, the brother. So I went to training there. And then from there, I went to Jacksonville for 2 weeks. And then they sent us back to the Philippines for Timothy Project training. So it was kind of shocking, being gone for 12 years, man. And I lost the language actually. I lost my dialect.
Wow.
You have over 100 dialects in the Philippines. But before I left, I could do 3 languages. So, but it was kind of neat because going to Tulsa, Oklahoma, I was able to meet a lot of Filipino community. They'd have a contest, band, sing and everything, win some here and there. So I was able to communicate, and able to raise some monthly support,
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, perfect timing before I go to the Philippines,
Yeah.
And during that time, going back to the Philippines, finding out from Tulsa, Oklahoma that I know how to find my biological father.
Yes,
So
that's how I want to hear that.
fast forward.
You were at Danville when we were friends.
Yes.
You were Allan Awing Abayan.
That's right, AAA, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pastor Charlie King used to sing Abayon in the Bind, Abayon in the Bind.
Yeah, that's right. Because we did a lot of the Firescape stuff with Charlie
did,
Kane
sure
together and
did,
stuff as
yes.
teenagers. Yeah.
Wow.
But I remember Allan Awing Abayan because years passed and we hadn't seen each other. And then somebody's telling me about this guy from the Philippines who's back named Allan. I'm like, oh yeah, Allan Abayan. And they're like, no, this guy. And I'm like, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's another Allan
Another
from the
Allan from the
Philippines
Philippines.
who's here.
How many are there?
But they're telling me, no, this guy's name is Allan de Guzman.
Yeah,
Right?
yes. That's why it's hard for them to find me on Facebook, because it's Allan de Guzman. My biological father, his grandfather is from Spain. So there's a part of European in me. It's kind of hard to believe for an Asian guy. You know, so I've got some I've got some European in me, but yeah, I was able to meet my biological father 2 months after I arrived in the Philippines, but 2 days before my 28th birthday.
Okay.
October 12, I met him for the first time. October 14 is my birthday, so we celebrated that 2 days before. But he's very well known in the Philippines. So he's an announcer. He does drama. He does 9 different voice. He could talk like and it changed into it's not just a DJ, but he's in the media. So I just walking in there in the middle of talk show and just introduce myself outside the studio, of course. And that was it,
And what year was that?
1997.
97. So
Yes.
that is well before Facebook and all these modern things that we have to be able to track people down. So that is actually a really impressive side of that story, because there was a lot more legwork that went into those than what we have right now.
Yes.
How did you find him? Did it take a lot of work, or did it just happen?
Well, the sister, which is a doctor in the Philippines, the sister of the lady I stayed in Tulsa, Oklahoma during my mission training, she said, "Yeah, we know your dad. We listen." They speak different language. They're more like in a tribal area. So, yeah, we know your dad. My dad used to listen to your dad. He's in the media. He's in the drama. Now, long time ago, when I was 7, 8 years old, I was living up north of the Philippines. I would hear his drama. I would hear all his drama.
But you didn't know he was your dad.
No, I knew he was a dad.
Okay.
But because I had so much bitterness in me, angry and everything, that he left my mom, never showed up and all of that. But it's just wrong information, and
sure.
you believe that, you didn't know the whole truth really. So that's how it happened. So when I went back on August 12, I called him a few weeks after that, tell him that I'm in the Philippines, introduced myself. And so 2 months after, which is October 12, and that's when I just show up. He didn't even know, So, but the station he works is very well known. The first radio station in the whole Philippines, media, the first one, DZRH. I could, he's
He sounded like a DJ when he said that. DZRH.
DZRH.
I can't do it. DZRH.
Yes. So I met his 5 daughters. Beautiful mixed kind of Spanish. And met his wife, so it was kind of like a restoration there, There's a season there, so
there's a change that actually came with the name change.
Yes,
that's very cool, man.
That's it.
I don't want to skip right over that. That's a very important thing. And I have to say something. I have to. I always get revelations and stuff when we have these shows.
Wow.
And again, I'm going to say joy, because we talk about joy a lot on the show, and it's not an emotion. And this is about as transparent and real time as you'll ever get with me.
Yes.
You have something that I want, and that is, I'm just going to say, you have to be able to feel it. There is an actual joy in here. You're a very light person. You're a very, very light person.
Thank you. Yeah.
And for those that are watching this, I promise you I'm not crazy. And I promise you, those that are listening, I'm not crazy. And if you've listened to the show before, I don't ever really dive off into things like this. But you have a very light person with you. It's joy.
Yeah.
And I have felt that from the time that we walked in here. And that is amazing, because you hear so many people, especially growing up in the times that we did. You guys are a little older than I am, but I grew up on the tail end of that, where we talk a lot about the oppression that came with the religious side of stuff and this and that. And it is nothing against anybody that's ever been on this show. We've had great people. My brother Red's been on here twice. Farron's been on here. He's on here every time. But I'm going to tell you something now. You have a joy that is in you that is just absolutely amazing.
Listen.
And I have enjoyed every minute sitting here right now.
Let me tell you something from knowing Allan since 85. 85, we said, 85.
Yes, 85.
From knowing Allan since 85. No matter what Allan was going through, you didn't really know, because Allan has always been such a positive person.
Yeah.
And he has always had such a cheerful and encouraging way about him. So you would think that everything was just perfect for Allan, and everything was, he didn't have a problem or a care in the world.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, he was blessed with the ability to come off as positive and encouraging.
Yeah.
And he also always seemed like the kind of person who wanted to know what was going on with you, and how could he encourage or help you.
Yeah.
Not me, or what can you do for me. Allan's never been a what can you do for me kind of guy.
Yeah. And we're not trying to put you on a pedestal.
No.
But I want you to know somebody that I don't know a whole lot about your story, but what I've learned today, you're kind of like the rest of us with the chaos, that you grew up in, especially with your gang affiliations and stuff when you were younger. To carry the level of peace that you carry is absolutely amazing. And that's what you have that I want, which is encouraging to me about the walk that I'm currently in and the transitions and changes that I've made in life. Because I want to be able to promote that to people, not for myself, but I want people, again, I don't give a shit if you think I'm crazy, if you're watching or if you're listening, the peace that is in here right now is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And it's I've been sitting over here this whole time, like I had my fingers crossed because that's my thing to remind myself of a point.
Where's a good place to insert this?
Right, I can't forget that. But that is, it goes hand in hand with a lot of what we've talked about on this show, a lot of the topics that we have, and we always get something that is so amazing with everybody that comes in. And again, it's nothing towards anybody that's been on here. I love all of you, but I got peace today.
Thank
you. And that's an amazing trait that you don't run into a whole lot with people. I mean, you just really don't. And I don't know how to put it into words, dude. It's one of those things, like I told people when I quit drinking and I finally got a hold of God, if I could just bottle it up, and go, hey, here, just take a couple of sips of that. It's the same thing right now. If I could bottle this up, what's in here right now, and just give that to somebody and go, look, you need about that much. Wow. That's all you need. Allan, it's amazing. And we're not even to the end of the show. We're only 36 minutes in. And I'm so damn glad you're here.
Well, and here's the thing. Allan is from the Philippines, fantastic singer, and yet he's not even bitter that he didn't get the job with Journey.
Dude, it was coming out, I promise. It was coming out.
Everybody was thinking it, and I got to say it first.
So I have a cool story about that guy. I have a very close friend of mine. I've known him for quite some time. He owns a chain of tour buses, and so he has a lot of connections. Yeah. And I can't remember that guy's name.
Arnel.
Yeah,
Arnel Pineda.
So they picked him up one time, and he had a skateboard that he would kick around on stage and do. And I have one of those skateboards.
Really?
My buddy gave me. It came down from him, and he gave me that skateboard.
Wow.
It's not a Walmart brand, but it's like a Kryptonics, like it's a cheaper made one.
Wow.
And he was like, I got you a skateboard. And I was like, thanks, And he never told me.
Oh,
he never told me where it came from. So I was on the phone with him one day, and I was like, dude, I got a great idea. I'm going to paint it on a skateboard, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And he goes, hey, don't paint on that board. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, and then he told me where it came from. I was like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, I did tell you. And I was like, no, because I promise you. Awesome. It's the same guy that handed me a guitar pick one time. And he goes, here, I got this for you. And it was Steve Miller.
Man.
And Steve Miller had signed the guitar pick. But it was just very nonchalant. Here, I got you a guitar pick.
Wow.
So, yeah, that guy, it was coming, I promise. I was going to ask you if you're a better singer than he is.
No, I'm not kidding. I know friends that they can do it the way Arnel Pineda does. There's a lot of small groups in the Philippines, a lot of band. Yeah,
he's being humble, man. He's a good singer.
So I have to ask: Is he a staple for the Philippines? Because like Bono, they're crazy about him in Ireland.
Bono, yes, he is. I have a story also. Finding out a little bit about. I met his ex-wife. His ex-wife was what do you call this? Stewardess. They have a beautiful.
Imagine that, a rock star and a stewardess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a long time ago. And she's a preacher now in the Philippines.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Her and her husband is a businessman. They have a lot of farm coffee. They raise coffee and everything. Man, that guy's short, but man, the voice.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
He's shorter than me.
Big voice, little guy.
Whoo, what a voice, man. But anyway,
look, he's got nothing on. He's got nothing on 1988, 1989, Allan, with the mullet,
with the mullet
and the singing. No. Yeah, he got nothing on him.
I remember the story. I don't know if you know Mike Kennedy, tall guy there. We were invited. The girl that graduated in Danville, what's her name? Terry is the last name.
Her last name is Terry?
That's half of Lawrence County.
Yeah.
Neighbors Danville.
Hey, listen, you know what's funny about that? What's your sister's last name?
Terry.
Yeah, she married a Terry.
She married one
In
of the
Lawrence
Terry.
County. They live just below my dad.
That's like marrying one in four.
Yeah, you
it's
can
going to be
sit
a terrier
in the
or a
wintertime.
Hutto or a Kirby.
In the winter, when the trees are bare, you can sit on my dad's carport and see where they live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's married one of the Terry. The five guys. that does
The
music.
bluegrass guys. Yeah.
Kirk Terry. But anyway, they invited us to what is that? Is it Montevallo, the girls' college?
Yeah, Montevallo.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and my candidate, we didn't know this, and some of the friends of mine that graduated the what do you call it? Brewer. So we got there. So like. I said, Mike, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it either. We're the only man here. We're the only male here. It's all women, He's single. I'm single, both
Wait a
along here.
Wait a minute. You were talking about a girl from Danville that went to school there.
Yeah,
Last name Terry.
what?
Are you sure her first name wasn't Terry? Because you
no.
remember Terry Norrell?
Oh, it was Terry.
That's it, Terry Norrell.
Terry Norrell.
Oh,
She
my
went to
God.
school there. Yeah.
Yes, it's a good friend of mine. But anyway, yeah, she attended, started the
Yeah.
Bible study, the library. She invited us. And so anyway, we got there, man. So we did 4 or 5 rap songs, several groups. And man, it was awesome. It was like, but man, I was like, there's so many beautiful ladies here. I don't know. I said, Mike, you tame. You too, Filipino. You tame yourself now.
He's just whipping that mullet. Look, ladies.
Remember when Barry was in here?
I was just being real, man. I was just being real.
Did you hear the episode that we did with Barry, Pastor Barry here?
See, you told me that. I keep forgetting.
You gotta listen to it because he
Pastor
told us.
Barry, forgive me.
He told a story. He told a story about driving
Similar.
a bus with these 30 women that were.
So he's 26 years old, and he
Yeah.
was over the youth, and they also put him in the singles
the
ministry.
singles ministry,
and
yeah.
sent him
He
to
told me
was it
that
Key
part.
West or
Yeah,
Miami.
Yeah, he told me that part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we-
crazy,
We don't want to go
man.
too far on that story.
But the 26-year-old single
my
man.
God,
You're
when he
also in
told
charge
me
of the
that.
singles group with these 30 single women.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was on the spot, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, you go to you go in '97,
Yes.
right? And then you come back. But
Yes.
now, what is it exactly that you do now? Because you go back and forth now, right?
Yeah. Well, I did that until 2018. I went straight to, being divorced. I went through a lot of depression, anxiety. I went through a lot of challenges.
Sure.
More in the Philippines. So now in the Philippines, I didn't tell you this, but I was doing, which is my favorite thing to do, is school campuses, college and university. Of course now they're married and all over the world. But we did that from first year college up to when they graduate. So mentoring, more in mentoring.
So you had like a mission to college campuses.
Yes. We would meet one campus or outside the campus, musician. I mean, great gifts and talents. This, men and women, and so the reason I say it's my favorite because that's when you say the whole campus, you got the whole kind. It's like when you go in the ocean. You have all kinds of fishes, right?
Yeah.
I love it. You got the gays and the lesbians, and I love it. And so that's my group.
Yeah.
And other churches, religious on the campus, they don't like to do it. But I love it, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I've got an acronym word. I got 3 acronym words. The word real. It's really good for people that's been hurt, and they need to take off the mask. And I do that in the campus. See? The word real. And it's very good for people that don't want to go to church or they don't want to have nothing to do with church because of some scars, some pain, some wounds. But being real, that's what I like to have sometimes in the care while I'm here in the care. Just they can pour out. You know what I'm saying? Be able to relate each other. That's a little R.
That to me, and I'm this is
love
kind of lighthearted to say, but I don't really mean it so much as a joke. But it's kind of like you just had to do the damn mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I got an acronym word for them. You know me. I love that. I love that. I love
Acronyms?
That. Yeah. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Deliver a message neutrally. So,
Deliver a message neutrally.
I like that.
All right.
that's
it
the right
fits.
English. So, anyway.
It fits. Yeah.
So on the back of my shirt right now, it's my phrase that I coined years and years ago. It's
Okay.
be real, be you, and be salt.
I like
And I
that.
always attach Matthew 13 or
Yes.
Matthew 5:13 to
Okay.
that. Because I don't think we've spent a whole lot of time doing exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Being real with people.
Yeah.
We all have problems. And to go back on the comment that I made about you being a peace and being a joy in that, I don't want to skip right over the fact that you just said that you went through a whole lot of anxiety and depression.
Yep.
And we're all connected to that. And people don't have an opportunity to be real about that.
Right.
To look at people and go, you know what? I love God. God did change my life.
Yeah.
And it put me on a trajectory. But there were times where it still sucked.
Oh man.
Life sucked.
Yeah.
Well, religion gets in the way of us being able to be real so often, because as soon as you're a Christian, you're a leader, you've done something like Allan, singing and mission work, and then you go through anxiety and depression, right?
Yeah.
And so what do? You keep it to yourself, or you share it, and in a religious situation, run the risk of being told, well, you just don't have enough faith, or
Exactly.
well, if I'll pray for you,
Right.
and then you don't see that person anymore because they start to avoid you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how it's supposed to work.
No.
That's-
And I just want to say real quick, if you're watching or if you're listening, there are 3 guys sitting in a room right now that promotes what I'm fixing to tell you. There is life on the other side.
Yes.
Yes.
There is life on the other side of it. There is a joyous and peaceful life on the other side of that trauma that goes through. And so I'm not going to say all the time. It used to happen more than what it does now, but I'm not in people's faces anymore. It's, if your God is so great, then why? And you can just fill in the damn blank.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I could do that with anything. But what I can tell you is that my God, the one that I learned to have a relationship with, I am thankful now for the things that I went through.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the things because it led me to a place in life to sit in this studio and have this conversation with you 2 men about a lot of the same things. And it made me a better person.
Yes.
A lot of that I brought on myself due to the dumbass decisions, but
Same
he
here.
carried me through it. He carried me, and I look back now at all my life. He's just had that hand, going, I got you.
Casey,
I got you.
I feel guilty about something. Okay.
What's that?
I picked on you this week about how often you refer to Romans 8:28.
Yeah.
And you just had a perfect,
Time to do it?
and then I felt like you didn't because I picked on you. So please
No,
forgive me,
no.
brother.
It is.
This week I was driving down the road because of my job. I drive a lot, and I was listening to a couple of episodes that hadn't been released yet because I was working on editing them.
Okay.
And I was noticing how often Casey is Romans 8:28, which is the whole chapter 8 of Romans is my favorite. So I was just playing.
Now,
I love that.
now
But
you got it.
But I made Casey a playlist from Spotify
Called Casey
with,
828.
called Casey 828, and it was like 18 songs, and all of them were about Romans 8:28. Some of them were terrible.
Today,
Some of them were terrible songs too, man.
Today I was.
But please don't stop. Please don't stop.
And I tell you why.
Oh,
this is why I do that. Because Kenny made a comment when he was here, and we all grew up in that if you'll read your Bible, if you'll read your Bible, if you'll read your Bible, if you'll read your Bible. Well, let's be honest. If you open it right now, let's say somebody goes, you know what? I want to try this God thing. I want to try it. And you open that damn book up, where are you going to start?
Right.
Where are you going to start?
Yeah.
You can start anywhere. And if you just pick a place, it doesn't make any sense because you have to connect it.
Start in Leviticus chapter 7,
Right,
and then
exactly.
you're like, why do people read this?
So I push 828 because it's not just because I think it's a great thing. It's in the hopes that psychologically somebody will go, well, maybe he does work all things together for the good.
Yes.
Maybe this chaos and trauma in my life actually means something.
Yes.
And that's why I hone in on it, because it's one of those things where it's true. It stays true. It's never going to not be true.
Yes.
And you never know who's going to tune in for the first time. You never know who's going to hear Allan's story for the first time. And it's not like I just live by Romans 8:28. Like there's a lot of folks that do.
I'm so sorry, man.
No, you're good,
I
dude.
feel, I
You know,
feel like a well, we got an E rating, right?
Yeah.
I can say asshole.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole, right?
I actually live by Matthew 6. I've got it's a life philosophy. I call it 6.0.
Yeah.
But I don't push that on people. But if you if you read Matthew 6 in its entirety, it's a great place to be in life. You know, especially don't let the left know what the right is doing.
Right.
Don't loft up words. For those who seek the attention of others in the crowd, they get that. But those who look in private, they seek their reward in private.
Right.
If you're fasting, don't draw your face.
Right.
Don't lead people to ask questions and go, why do you look so damn hungry?
Yeah.
You know, this is a relationship between you and God.
Yes, yes.
And if you take that 6th chapter as a whole, it's just a great guideline.
Right.
You know, and when you give to the needy, don't stand up and boast, because you'll get your reward.
Agree.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get what you need if you want affirmation. And so I try to plug those things like that just as a starting point. You know, I got Romans 3:23 tattooed. It was my first tattoo. Is, you know, we all sin and fallen short of the glory of God. And I used to combat religion with that. You know, I would say, well, Romans 3:23 says that I can, you know, all people, yada, yada, yada. But it's the truth. You know, there are foundational truths biblically and scripturally through a relationship with God that do that. So I don't mind if you pick on me. I don't care.
But
I'm
Pharaoh,
going to keep throwing it out there.
That's good though. When you the moment he said that today, I was peeing on the. I was peeing. I don't know. This is kind of like visual. I was peeing in the
God's
bathroom.
loving. I was peeing, and I thought about it. Go ahead. No,
He said,
I love
I'm
it.
glad this is on video now. I was peeing in the
I
bathroom.
was peeing in the bathroom. Not peeing in the bathroom. I was peeing in the bathroom.
It was perfect. Okay, I didn't make a mess. But anyway, and Romans 8:28 today. Now you guys talking about Romans today, and the Lord kind of reminded me where I am, where I was a year ago.
Yeah.
When I was
Yeah.
40 years. When I was in the bathroom, dude. I mean, check this out. Our life now, our present life, whatever it is that we go through. You know, I went to divorce. You know, I don't. Did you went to divorce?
5 is the number of grace. 5 is the number of grace. Pastor Barry said
4
so.
times? He went
5 is the number of grace.
Yeah, 4 pillars and 5 graces. But Romans 8:20 is it's a reality that whatever it is, because our Heavenly Father, I mean, I love this show because you can be real, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I was doing the youth for 6 weeks on the word Father, right? And then one of the things I share is thoughtful. Okay, so he's thoughtful because he's thinking of us all the time. Whatever mess, whatever failures, and whatever wrong turn and wrong choice. Oh my God, all of us we can talk. We can write a book each, right? But he's thinking of us. Whatever it is, it says in Psalms 139. His thoughts towards us is countless as the sand in the seashore. And I think I need to say that because somebody probably is listening that you're thinking that God is afar. He's not afar.
No.
He's near as Jesus is near to the Father.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too religious, but I just wanted somebody's watching because you did that because you're not in church. You are close to the Father. I just want to tell somebody.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's beautiful
And
relationship.
we will take that Joseph Prince moment any day of
Yes,
the any
sir.
day of the week.
Listen, all kidding aside, that whole chapter 8 of Romans, okay?
Yeah.
You think about, here's how it starts, all right? It starts with, there is therefore now no condemnation
Yeah.
for those who are in Christ Jesus.
No, excuse me.
For
Let me
the-
correct you.
for-
It says now.
There is therefore now no condemnation.
That's
Now.
I
right.
thought I
Now.
said
Not
that.
tomorrow, but now.
Operative.
All right, thanks, King James. Anyway, there is therefore now.
That's Prince
Remember,
James.
that's how you learn English. Remember?
You have to, the whole.
Yeah, but see, there's therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus will set you free from the law of sin and
Free.
death.
Yes.
And then we go all the way through, and then that chapter ends with, all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, who are called according to His purpose.
Yes.
And that's what we're all sitting here talking about,
Yeah.
is His purpose.
And then you can take the purpose, the very last one in that, and then you can jump over to Jeremiah 29:11.
Yes, that's good.
Then you can
knows
jump
it.
over there.
Yes.
But if
Yeah.
you start at Jeremiah 29:11, there's not as much meat to it. So I only offer that is if this is an encouraging thing for you. I'm talking to somebody now too, just like you, since you went on that note. If you're in that and you find it encouraging and you're like, hey, I want to try this. Don't just Google motivational verses. You know, this is a relationship thing,
Yes,
and you don't have to do it. You don't have to. God loves you.
Yes.
You're no further away because you didn't than when you did. You're the same. He sees you
That's
the same.
it.
He
That's
loves
it.
you the same, right where you're at. But if you want to, I don't try to use but, I try to use and.
Yes.
But this is a but, because my dad preached a sermon one time when I was a kid called God Has a But. And I loved it.
Hey, Barry just
love
did
your
that
dad,
Sunday.
man.
Yeah, the but.
Barry just did that
I
Sunday.
love Grace Butt.
Yeah, his sermon is "I love Grace Butt," and then he got off on some tangent about butts.
But if you want to enter into a peace that surpasses all understanding, because we have heard that all our life,
Yes.
and it's always followed with an and or a but. It is real,
is.
and it is an opportunity to do that. It doesn't really matter where you start. Start somewhere. John Acuff, I don't know if you know who John Acuff is, but a successful businessman. He built his empire on what he calls being a serial quitter. He quit every job.
A serial quitter?
Yeah, he would work a job 2 years and quit. Work a 2 years and quit. And he wrote a book simply called Start, period. And it's an entrepreneurial mind kind of book. Like everything begins with starting. You can make plans all day long.
Right.
You know, and I think the church has perfected a method of coaching people mentally to get to a point, well, if you get here, then you can start. Or if you get here, then God can love you. Or if you get here, then you can do this. I'm here to tell you, don't. Just start. Just start. Just start that genuine relationship and go, I think these 3 fat guys are crazy. And you're not as fat as we are. But I think these guys are crazy, but I'm going to start. I'm going to try. Just try it. Just try it.
You know, we were talking.
Beautiful.
We were really encouraging and building up Allan about, you pointed it out so perfectly about the peaceful spirit that he has.
It's light, dude.
Well, Allan, I'm going to tell you something. This, by the same token, this guy right here, he means what he just said. This is one of the things that I've always thought about Casey. Even before he was on the right path. Even, dare I say, drunk Casey, okay? Casey always put his money where his mouth was. Casey always did. When other people would talk about, then Casey would say, all right, then let's do it. And it did.
Yeah.
And that's something. And then now being on the right path like he is and doing it for the right reasons like he is, it's awesome. Dude, I'm having such a good time. I got my seatbelt on and on this ride, and thank you for including me.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, God shows up, and that's anybody that's known me for years. I know people that listen to the show that's known me a long time, and they've not been in the inner workings of it. And I've said it before. You can look at my Facebook and go, man, that guy's got a wonderful life. He has a great life. Well, you're right. I do.
Wow.
But you only you only see the side of life that I allow you to see.
Sure.
There are people that are close to me, i.e. my wife, my children, my parents, my brother Red, that have watched the crumble. They have watched the fall. They have watched drunk Casey, through those times. And if you're listening and you don't know me, I want you to know I am not the guy that would ever talk about God. I told my dad that. I said, I'll never be that. I'll never do that. And I ran from it for so long. And I got tired of people. I said this every episode, and it's the second time I got emotional. Only the second time. I got tired of people telling me that I couldn't do it. I got tired of people telling me, by this scripture, you can't do it that way. And I tried to fit into their mold. But what I've learned is the peace and the joy, and that's why I say that you have something that I want. And I'm on my way there, is I had to take all of that out. Barry taught me a word one time. He was talking about the 7 gates of Jerusalem. And inside there, it's Jeremiah's story. There's a word in there. It's called rhetoric. The rhetoric of society, the white noise, the green noise, that's what religion would have us believe is God. The rhetoric. We have to shed ourselves of the rhetoric and go, I don't give a damn what nobody thinks. This is my life. I got one life. I have one chance to raise my children. I have one chance to love my wife, unless you're Farron, and then you have 5. I
Easy
have 3.
now. Okay, thank you. Thank you for adding
had
3
3
at the end.
But this is my life, and I don't give a damn what you tell me. I'm going to do it. And since I made that decision, brother, That's what lands us here to be able to present God into a place that is tasteful. I've heard, if you're lukewarm, God will spit you out all my damn life.
Yeah, same
You know?
here. Yeah, same.
And it is true, but it's not because of the way that we were taught. You know, I find myself being a certain temperature of water because I want to be. I desire to be that because my life improved. And so you mix that with an entrepreneurial brain, and then you get 20 million different podcasts, and you get all different kind of things. But God works, man. God moves. He does. It's real. And you don't have to do anything but start. That's it. But you got to get rid of the rhetoric, and then start it.
Right.
Then start that
Shake it off,
relationship
yes.
and get rid of the religion.
Yes.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it altogether, because that's the only thing that saved us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
That's beautiful, man. Appreciate you sharing that. It's encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah, Casey, and we're really glad you could be here with us today. And listen, you got a lot to say, so we want you to know we want to have you back again.
Back on the show.
And if you were ever on a trip and you went into a truck stop, what would you come out with?
So that's where we're at in the show. We're there. We're at 5928.
Hey, that's
Allan,
perfect.
I have to tell you again, dude, it's been a pleasure to have you here. We
an
don't tell
honor.
this to everybody. We tell it to a lot of people, but you are welcome back whenever you
Yes,
would like
sir.
to come back.
Yes,
we will get
sir.
you back on here. I like to try to get to people's foundation and then come in and just allow an opportunity just to run with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because conversations always end up like that in this room.
That's
You know, it's crazy how it goes. So segueing into that, you're on a road trip, okay? You go into a truck stop.
All right.
What are you coming out with?
Do the damn show. What?
And not urinal revelations about
Yeah,
Romans
you know,
8:28.
You stop.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought it's like something. Look,
No. You stop for gas, right?
Right.
And you got to buy something to
Yeah,
eat or
you're buying
drink,
something
Right?
in the truck stop.
You got to
Right.
buy something to eat or drink or whatever. So what are you getting?
What's your favorites?
my favorite coffee.
Coffee?
Yes.
Like hot coffee. You're not trying to get like a frappuccino out of the cooler. You're
Allan,
getting hot coffee.
I love you, but that is such an old man answer.
Yeah, kind of is.
It is.
And I bet. And let me guess, is the coffee black or do you do some cream and sugar?
I believe I'll come out with a coffee and a paper.
Only thing would have been worse if he said if he just said Sanka.
Yeah, coffee with a donut. There's a donut. Yeah, that would be
Coffee and a
good.
donut.
Yeah,
That's
donut.
an
Just any old donut.
That's an old retired cop answer.
Well, you know, in New York, of course, before I go to work, you know, taking care of elderly, I do the Dunkin' Donut. Actually, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah,
Dunkin'
yeah.
Donut,
Oh yeah,
Or before I go to the hospital.
There you go.
Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donut coffee cup sitting on the floor.
Sitting
right
on the
there.
floor. That's it.
Right there. Yes.
All right, so travel back to your favorite Christmas.
Favorite Christmas.
Your favorite
Wow.
Christmas. What was the gift that just stands out to you?
Well, I have to say, here in America, you know, I never had any Christmas in the Philippines, so with
Wow.
the family. But gift, you said gift, right?
Yeah, the gift. Yeah.
Well,
Or it could be a birthday.
yeah,
Just a favorite gift that stands out.
not much of a gift. To answer that question is my family was a gift. I miss that, you know, having
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? Saying each other. I have two beautiful daughters. I don't know if you met two beautiful daughters. You know, at that time I was still married, and he indicator, and we would speak each other. You know, that was the best gift for me.
Okay,
You
all
know,
right, Alan.
I don't want
look,
to get mushy, but you know,
look. You know I love you.
yeah,
The serious part of the show is over.
it's over.
This is when people say things like a King Kong bank or a set of drums that said satin steel
Should
on
have given me a
them.
warning, fair.
Or, you know, and you say you didn't have Christmas in Philippines, but you did when you got here as a teenager. So the answer would be something like my first Carmen CD or something like that, right?
But it's Christmas in the Philippines. We start September. You know, I don't know if you know that. But we're the longest Christmas celebration.
Really?
Yeah, we do a lot of crazy stuff. I don't want to tell you, but you know, crazy stuff.
It sounds like your best Christmas gift was the Philippines.
I believe so too. But I'm glad you told me not to be serious after all of that. Yeah. I did a lot.
Okay.
right,
So
so-
Sanka and
The
Sanka and
Philippines.
time with family in the Philippines. Okay. So what in the heck is the third question answer going to be?
Yeah, but-
Here it comes.
All right,
Here it
Going to the
comes.
truck stop and then what?
So here's the last question.
Yes.
God forbid something happened to you on the way home today. But if it did, and this is the last thing somebody heard from Allan, What is your tombstone message or your message to the masses? What is the encouragement for people that are going to hear this?
Wow.
Oh, now I get it.
Wow,
the last
that's
thing
good.
they hear from you because it's on the tombstone.
Yeah.
See, I thought you meant
If
like
he-
the last thing your last words,
The
but
i-
then what's on your tombstone.
The idea is if,
get it
if you
now.
had an opportunity to put it on your tombstone, what would that message be?
I get it now.
Got it?
Except I can't stop thinking about the pizza commercials. What's on your tombstone? Pepperoni. Remember that? Sorry, I'm sorry. I forgot. We were still being serious. I forgot.
No.
Well, make it short is God is for you, not against
Yeah.
you.
I love it, dude.
There you go.
God is for you.
It's in
not
Romans
against
8,
you.
verse 31.
Yes, sir.
See, that's what it's about. Because we have not got one yet that was even close
But what the
to the
fir-
other guest.
The first
Yeah.
phrase of that verse, actually, Casey, says, "What shall we say to these things?" That is cool. Now you can break it down. You
Yeah.
can preach serious on that. What shall we say to this thing? What are they gonna say? The hawk with it. We don't care what the dang thing. What do they say?
Yeah.
What shall we say to these things?
Yeah.
If God before us, who can be against us?
And it's so cool that comes
is beautiful.
after he works all things together. For
That's
good.
right.
Yeah.
That's
For those
I
that call
still
it
though,
according.
I still missed it because in my mind, what I thought you were going to say was, "Hey, Journey, that could have been me."
That's a good one. That's good.
So I got it here. We're gonna put you on the spot, and then we're gonna get ready to sign off. Give us something. We've talked about this beautiful angelic voice from the Philippines. Give us something, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Row your boat. I don't care.
What is it?
You know what you should sing? And this is only because we kept talking about the high school days. And,
Yes.
and I was talking about when you could barely speak English, but you were singing. You know what song I always remember? Remember the old Ray Bolt song? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You used to sing that one. That used to be your signature song.
Signature. Yeah. So
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
You remember any of it?
Yeah. I can remember. If I don't, yeah.
Spit us a chorus or something, man. Come on.
Dream I went to heaven.
Yeah.
You were there with me. You know the song. I woke up on the streets of gold, beside the crystal sea. I heard the angels singing. Someone called your name. Hey, Allan.
I love it, man. Well, Allan, dude, thank you for being
Well,
here today.
thank you.
Seriously, I've enjoyed the time so much. I don't even know how to put it into words.
Well,
I
Jason
wish I could
Such,
bottle
prime
it.
time, 256-303.
606-3064.
606.
Prime
Yeah.
time lawn care.
256-606-3064.
606-3064.
Yeah.
Go out, be real, be you, be salt. Go out and love somebody today.
Wow.
But before you do that, love yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks, Allan. Thank you for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much, Allan. We love you.
Say fair
In my deathbed and my journey's to a close. I need the comfort of my kin to light my way. Don't fret for my soul, please, 'cause I found my inner peace. Won't you join me as I tarry on